The drums stopped, but I could still hear her singing. It was a low, haunting tune that didn't belong in the living world. I was shaking so hard I thought my knees would give out, but I couldn't run. Not yet. Not while she was still there, crouched over the fire. Her name was Mama Abike. She was a widow who lived on the edge of our village. People said she had bad luck. Her husband died young, her children never lived past their first year, and her farm was always dry, no matter how much it rained. But bad luck wasn't the only thing people whispered about. Some said Mama Abike wasn't just unlucky, she was cursed. Others said she was the curse. I never believed any of it. She was just an old woman trying to survive. She'd come to the market sometimes, sitting quietly in the corner, selling firewood or bitter leaves. She never spoke unless someone spoke to her first, and even then, her voice was barely above a whisper. Then one night, I saw something I wasn't supposed to see. I had been sent to fetch water from the stream. It was late, and the moon was high, casting long shadows through the trees. As I walked back, I heard the sound of drums. At first, I thought it was coming from the village square, but the sound was too far away. It was coming from the direction of Mama Abike's hut. I don't know what made me go closer. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was something else. But as I got near her compound, I saw the fire. She was sitting in front of it, rocking back and forth, singing that strange song. Her voice was cracked and rough, like dry leaves scraping together, but the tune was wrong. It didn't sound like anything I'd ever heard before. I should have turned back. I should have run straight home. But I didn't. I crept closer, hiding behind a tree, and that's when I saw them. The shadows. They weren't like normal shadows. They moved on their own, stretching and twisting across the ground, circling the fire. At first, I thought it was the light playing tricks on me, but then one of them rose up, tall and thin, like a person made of smoke. Mama Abike didn't stop singing. She didn't even look up. The shadow leaned toward her, and I swear I heard it whisper something. I couldn't make out the words, but whatever it said made her laugh, a deep, hollow laugh that didn't sound human. I wanted to scream, but my throat felt like it was full of sand. I tried to step back, but my foot snapped a twig. The sound was small, but it was enough. She stopped singing. The shadows froze. Slowly, she turned her head, her eyes glowing faintly in the firelight. "Who's there?" she said, her voice cutting through the night like a blade. I didn't answer. I couldn't. She stood up, and the shadows moved with her, curling around her feet like snakes. "Come out," she said. "I won't hurt you." I didn't believe her. I took one shaky step back, then another, and then I ran. I didn't stop until I was back in my room, bolting the door behind me. I didn't sleep that night. I couldn't. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw those shadows, heard her laugh, felt her eyes on me. The next day, I told my friend Kofi what I saw. He laughed at me, said I must have imagined it. But that evening, Mama Abike came to the market. She walked past me, carrying her bundle of firewood like always. But as she passed, she stopped and looked right at me. "You shouldn't have been there," she said, her voice low and cold. I didn't answer. I couldn't even breathe. She smiled, a thin, empty smile, and walked away. That night, the drums started again. This time, they were louder. Closer. And when I looked out my window, I saw the shadows. They were waiting.